Good morning, everyone. Meg is on vacation this week, so you're getting a full dose of Brian today. I just want to say I had to move to New England before I really understood this holiday that well. Because in upstate New York we call it Father's Day, but here we call it Father's Day. Hey, happy Father's Day.
That's Commonwealth language.
There's my humor for the day. Everything else will be totally serious from now on. Night has turned to day. Night has turned to day. Night has turned to day. Oh, mama, now night has turned to day. 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 Oh, mama, now night has turned to day. 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 Oh, mama, now night has turned to day. I was walking in the darkness. I had not yet seen the light. I was swooping with the bad ones. I thought I had won the fight. At the peak of my delusion, I loved the money, girls, and cars. Now I'm walking in the sunlight, broken, battered, bruised, and scarred, but I'm so happy. Night has turned to day. Night has turned to day. Oh, mama, now night has turned to day. 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 Oh, mama, now night has turned to day. In the middle of the conflict between me, myself, and lies, I saw people die for nothing. I served lies to hungry eyes. When I swam deep in the river of my conscience, I defined self-reflection, new direction, to a healthy state of mind I thought I'd never find. Night has turned to day. Night has turned to day. Oh, mama, now night has turned to day. 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 Oh, mama, now night has turned to day. But I ain't going back to the work. I ain't going back to the work. I ain't going back to the work no more. That's captured all the dreams of happiness. I'm gonna find some higher ground to stand on. 3 lives is enough, child. Night has turned to day. Night has turned to day. Night has turned to day. Oh, mama, now night has turned to day. 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 Oh, mama, now night has turned to day. day. Night has turned to day. Night has turned to day. Night has turned to day. Oh, mama, no, night has turned to day. One more. Night has turned to day. Night has turned to day. Night has turned to day. Oh, mama, no, night has turned to day. And a long overdue solo. I had asked someone to sing on the morning that he fell and broke his hip. We're still going to pull it down. So we're going to feature Barry on this one.
Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. And I say, oh, rock my soul. And I say, oh, rock my soul.
Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on.
Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God,
There's a healing going on.
and I say, oh, rock my soul. And I say, oh, rock my soul. Let me walk to the banks of the river of love, where covering runs deep, baptized in the one, where there's no separation, and the light is all you see. Honoring all our differences, that love will set you free.
Mother, Father, God,
There's a healing going on.
Mother, Father, God,
There's a healing going on.
Mother, Father, God,
There's a healing going on.
I say, oh, rock my soul. I say, oh, rock my soul. Take it, John. One more, Barry. Mother, Father, smallest of dreams and let your love show. And you'll know what I mean, it's the reason. Oh, let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love bind you. All living things, and let your love shine. And you'll know what I mean, that's the reason. And there's a reason for the warm, sweet nights, and there's a reason for the candle lights. Must be the season when those love lights shine all around us. So let that wonder take you into space, lay you under its loving embrace, and feel the thunder as it warms your face, 'cause you can't hold back. Oh, just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams. Let your love show, and you'll know what I mean. It's the reason. Oh, let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love find you. All living things, and let your love shine. And you know what I mean, that's the reason. One more time, let me hear you. Let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. And you'll know what I mean, it's the season. Oh, 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 let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love bind you. All living things, and let your love shine. And you'll know what I mean, that's the reason. Here for Sherry and Barry. Now take the hand of someone around you and join us for Surely the Present. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place, because each and every one of you is the presence of God, is the divine light. Knowing that the essence of God is love, is joy, is happiness. And knowing that each and every one of you is the embodiment of love, of joy. Knowing that we each showed up here to give love, to receive love, and to be loved. Being the beacon of light to others and to all that we come into contact with. And so it is and so we let it be. Amen. Good morning. Happy Father's Day. I have the honor to share the platform with lovely Amy Jocelyn. Really my privilege, so take it away, Amy.
Good morning, Unity on the River. Good morning. It is my honor and my joy to be facilitating services with licensed Unity teacher Tom Paolini. Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to say hi to our streamers and welcome them. Welcome, streamers. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a reminder to everyone that you can always live stream our services live, or you can listen to them afterwards on the Spotify or SoundCloud app. See, you guys have been paying attention. We also want to honor and welcome anyone who is visiting with us for the first time today. If this is your first time at Unity on the River, if you could raise your hand. Oh, welcome, welcome. If you keep your hand raised, our lovely ushers will bring you a welcome packet. If you could fill the information on the front of the card out and bring it to our Spiritual Resource Center, they can answer any questions that you might have. Also, they're going to give you a flower, and the flower will give you a one-time 10% discount in our bookstore. So thank you for joining us, and please know that your presence here enriches our experience as well, and we honor all paths to God. All right, well, we have just a few brief announcements after we do our mission and our vision statements. Unity on the River is a center of celebration, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Please hold these truths in your heart as we step into a new era with our new mission and vision statement. So our mission statement: transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in the world. And our vision statement: awakened to and transformed by divine love, we are an expanding, compassionate, inclusive beacon of light. All righty. All right, and now for our announcements. Leslie Smith will be joining us next Sunday, June 23rd, for Sunday service. Her talk is entitled Heart, Power, and Miracles, A Love Journey on the Lighter Side, Part 2. That will be followed by her workshop, Opening Up to Love, 3 Keys to Creating Deep Connection and Joy, and that's going to be at 12. And there's more info on the workshop, and registration is available on our website. And then on June 30th, is our LGBTQ Pride Sunday service with guest speakers, special music, and more. Please be sure to attend this celebration of the LGBTQ community that we have always and always will welcome and support. And then on June 30th, we will be bringing back the Oneness Blessing with Revs Marianne and Phil McPherson. There's more info available online and at our Spiritual Resource Center. And then if that's not enough, but wait, there's more. Embodying Soul Dance is coming back to Unity on the River for Friday, June 28th at 7 p.m. Join Michael and Corey Green McLaughlin as we come home to our bodies and open ourselves to an inquiry that unfolds in each moment from movement and presence. There is a $15. If you pay up front, you get $15. If you pay at the door, it's $5 more, it's $20. So that's it. And now is the time in our service that we like to just stand and rise and welcome each other by saying Namaste. The divine I am sees the divine that you are.
Namaste.
So, we had a special request for today. So, this is kind of the fun thing we used to do in the old days of getting the request and going, sure. We're embracing yes. I also want to make sure you know that, I can do puppets too. So, no, never mind. Leslie is she's a master at that. This is Tom brought up this suggestion. It's an old Santana tune.
Come on, Carlos.
Love, devotion, and surrender. Love, devotion, and surrender. Love, devotion, and surrender. Love, devotion, and surrender. Oh, brother, listen to the rhythm of your heartbeat. It's keeping time with all the universal children. Oh, love, devotion, and surrender. Love, devotion, and surrender. Love, devotion, and surrender. Love, devotion, and surrender. Louder, till your heart embraces all the harmony. Oh, love, devotion, and surrender. Love, devotion, and surrender. Love, devotion, and surrender. Love, devotion, and surrender.
I was so excited that you said yes, and I hadn't heard back from Meg because I thought Meg was doing the service and she had forwarded the email, and it wasn't until last Wednesday that, oh yeah, Brian said okay. I said yes. But I know how you feel, because when Ogun asked me to speak on Father's Day, I said, what? And then about a week later, he said, oh, you don't have to, I'm not going to go. And then 4 days later, he said, oh, can you do it? So I adapted, learning to adapt to change. But this song inspired me a couple of weeks ago. I've been a long time Santana fan, and I was just out in the yard working and heard this, which was an old tune, and the album didn't really do that well when it first came out. It was Carlos Santana teaming up with John McLaughlin, who was Mahavishnu at the time. And Carlos was a big fan of Mahavishnu Orchestra, and he used to follow him. And then finally, he got to play with him. And then they did this album together, and they actually dreamed about doing another album, so maybe that'll be. But it inspired me thinking about Father's Day and, okay, what am I going to tell fathers that they don't already know? What am I going to tell parents that they don't already know? But I can only relate to my experiences of not only having a father, having parents, but also being one. And really thinking about what a privilege it really is. And an honor. And it first dawns on you when that little baby comes into your life, or that child comes into your life. And it has all this humanness, these little human tendencies, you know. Smiles and laughing, crying, pooping. And in each one elicits this, you know, this emotional feeling in us. You know, we want to be a part of everything that they do. We want to see everything. We want to experience it with them. We want to be the influence in their life. That love is inherent. And we're devoted. We're devoted to providing for them, to teaching them, to guiding them. Introducing them to new experiences. And wanting to be that positive influence in their life. Devoted. And then comes surrender. You know, those times when they start to grow up, start to have a mind of their own. And at first it's cute when they're dropping the toy off of the high chair and they want you to pick it up.
Yeah. Yes, it's cute.
So we have our brand new parents over here, Carrie and Jay. But you know, we don't chastise the baby for dropping the toy. We think it's cute. You saw watching our reaction. We're going to keep picking it up, and they're going to keep dropping it. But then they look to experience bigger and better things as they grow up. They want to seek new teachers. And sometimes those teachers don't really resonate with our beliefs and our feelings or what we think is best for them. Right? So there's transition for them, transition for us. What if it's not in alignment with what I think is best for that child? How do I react? Do I react? You know, do I scold them? Do I, you know, they make those choices that don't resonate with what we think is the best choice for them? It probably isn't. But will they know that? Do we scold them? Do we chastise them? Shame them? You know, I want something better for you. I want you to have the opportunities that I didn't have. I don't want to see you make the same mistakes that I made. But am I making the same mistakes that my parents made? Oh, what happened here?
The older you get, the more you look
So I just love the idea that parenthood is just really all of the same lessons for life that, we talk about at Unity with the 5 principles. To bring that into our children's lives at whatever stage we are at in parenthood. Whether they're still brand new, whether they're growing up, whether they're grown up. Am I aware enough that I can see how I may be perceiving that what they are doing is a reflection on me? That what they're doing affects me in my image of me. Not my image of them, but my image of me. I may say that about them, but it's really about me. So Gary Simmons, who you may have heard of, Gary Simmons was instrumental in our TE experience back in 2009, 2010, our transformational experience when we were creating a mission and vision for Unity on the River. And back then we were looking at his book, Eye of the Storm, letter I. And we're going to hear more about Gary Simmons in the future as we take on a mission-centric church. But Gary Simmons talks early in the book, Eye of the Storm, about our own reflection, our own image. And he used the analogy of looking into a car window on a sunny day. And when we look into a window of a car on a sunny day, we first see our own reflection. But then after a little bit of adjustment, we can see what's inside the car. But Gary reminds us that we are conditioned to see our own reflection first. Because how we look and how we feel we're being perceived in the world is what matters most to us. So everything that we interact with, every person, every relationship, whether it's our child or spouse, significant other, our coworker, is always based on coming from how is this affecting me? Unless we're present and aware that that's what I'm doing. And that we often act out of fear. And fear, Gary Simmons also reminds us, is something that an experience or a memory from the past that we bring into the present, projected into the future. And so when we interact with that child and see them making mistakes, we're fearful for our own image. Most likely, we're fearful that something will happen. Fearful of the outcome. Fearful how this is all going to transpire. When I was 8 or 9 years old, my brother and I were down out in the woods, down on a dirt road, and I climbed a tree, and I was hanging upside down, and the branch was dead, and I fell on a rock, a big rock that laid me alone. So my brother had to run home, get my father. My father came and got me, carried me home, and all the way home he's yelling at me. What were you thinking? Why were you in that tree? Just get me home, Dad. I think I just had the wind knocked out of me. But of course it scared the bejesus out of me, you know? I mean, all he could see is I couldn't move, and he had to carry me home. And he was acting out of fear. Of course, I didn't see that then. Then as I got older, when I was 18, and I got arrested in high school for possession of marijuana. Now, back then, it was really, they had just changed a law in Maine from a felony to a misdemeanor. So now, we've learned that we always have to see the blessing, and the blessing was it kept me out of going to Vietnam. So, because they didn't want me because I had a misdemeanor on my record. My father didn't see it as a blessing. My father picked me up at the police station, and it was a 17-mile drive home, but that seemed like a lifetime. And every person that had long hair that we went by, my father said, "There's one of your friends." Now, the town that we moved from Connecticut to Maine, and so this was our first year in Maine. And it was a small town, 700 people. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew the people that lived in the house that we bought. So everybody knew us. And so I'm sure all my father could see was that, what are they going to think? I didn't see that then. I just saw it as, get me out of this car. So I can go smoke a joint. But I had to surrender the pot to my father, who took it in the back and burnt it, so I didn't get to do that.
He inhaled the flame.
I didn't say that there was other avenues to get more, but no, I was grounded for a month. So I could see that I had disappointed my father. I could see that I disappointed my mother. But that didn't stop me from moving out of the house as soon as I got out of high school. Matter of fact, I think that was my motivation to get the heck out of there. And so my mother didn't like where I was going, and she gave me 6 months. I'm giving you 6 months to get back here, and if you're not here, don't come back. Wow. I said, "Really, Ma?" I think it was 7 or 8, but I came back. But it wasn't too long after that I left again. But she was just giving me enough rope. So my mother was surrendering, letting me grow, with a caveat, It's a short rope. But really, what was their motivation? My mother wanted me to go to college. My father, who went to college at night school while he was working and raising a family, didn't really want to see that for me. But what they were saying and how they were interacting with me was exactly the formula that I needed to get the heck out of there, figure out things on my own. And then shortly after that, my mother died, and I was living about an hour and a half away. My sister was not far from me going to college, my younger sister. And so every weekend I would rouse her up out of bed and say, "We're going to see Dad." Much to her resistance and resentment, but with my coercion. And I could see now as I look back, and she reminds me that I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to play the housemate and cook and clean for the weekend, and all I wanted to do was make sure Dad was okay. And as I look back at that, I'm becoming the father to my sister and acting in the same way. And how I thought she should act, was based on me. So there wasn't much later in life that before my father passed away that he did tell me he loved me and that he was proud of me. And it was really a defining moment for me to see how full circle we had both come, that we could actually communicate on a same level. And it took surrender on both our parts. And if we're not careful, we can see how love can turn to disharmony, or devotion can turn to control. And then does surrender turn to giving up? Doesn't have to. When we can become aware of our own thoughts, our own intentions, and be able to reflect on how we are perceiving the world, how we are perceiving this young one, how we are perceiving this person in relationship, and how I believe it's affecting me. And you think about what power we give someone with that intention of, or demand that my happiness is based on how you act. My happiness is based on how you show up. My happiness is based on what you are doing, who you are hanging out with. And what a burden that is on someone else. Like, how would you ever be able to live into that understanding that everything I say and do is either going to make you happy or mad or sad or glad? So love, the great harmonizer, Thich Nhat Hanh in his book, You Are Here, talks about love. It says love is treating your own heart with a great deal of tenderness, with understanding and compassion and love. If you cannot treat your own heart this way, how can you treat your child or your partner, your coworker, or anyone that's in relationship with you with love and understanding? Treat your own heart with compassion and devotion. Knowing others is wisdom. Knowing thyself is enlightenment, by Lao Tzu. Am I committed? Am I devoted to living a life that stems from understanding of divine law that we are all one? That how I show up matters. How I show up matters. Am I devoted to continuing to improve my own self-awareness in how I am showing up? Jesus said, remove the log from your own eye before you attempt to remove the splinter from your neighbor's. Now we say, put your own oxygen mask on first. Surrender. Am I willing to see my own perceived shortcomings and let go of any notion that I am less than or more than someone else who I am in relationship to? Am I willing to embrace change? Again, Thich Nhat Hanh in his book, You Are Here, talks about shining light. And you may remember that Ogun talked about this a few years back. And the monks would get together maybe once a year, the brothers would get together once a year and shine light on one another. So a monk would ask, what is it in me that causes disharmony with you or annoys you? And that brother or that monk would share that. And I would be willing to listen to that. What if we did that in our families, or what if we did that at work, in our relationships? Am I willing to look beyond the humanness and embrace the humanness? Look beyond the humanness and embrace it. To remember there is no separation in God. Can I look past the poopy diaper and see that beautiful being? Can I do this on a day-to-day basis? We all poop. Pretty sure. Can I look past that yuckiness to see the divine? And to embrace the human tendencies that we all show up in our own unique way. So looking beyond the physical means to see and affirm the divine in another. And we can affirm this for them we can affirm this for them when we feel judgment. We can affirm the divinity in another. It's one little trick I play with myself when I find myself judging another, when I'm driving down the road and I feel that judgment or that opinion of someone, and I have no idea who they are. I just saw them on the side of the street. But I can feel that opinion forming. And I'll just quickly turn it to a blessing. Just, I bless you. As simple as that. It just, the shift in me is, I can feel it right away. So when we see something that we may think is harmful to a loved one, to a child, we set the intention for that person holding the highest realm of possibility, the highest intention of good for them, knowing that it already exists. And at the same time, can we ask, what is mine to do? How can I be the beacon of light in this person's life? So holding an intention for someone else and affirming for that person actually creates the resonant field for them and allows them to grow into that, to move into that. It actually creates that resonant field. And not only that, but it also creates a resonant field for myself. Ask a prayer chaplain. So I'd like to leave you with a quote from Charles Fillmore. And for those of you who don't know who Charles Fillmore is, Charles Fillmore was a co-founder of Unity. And really, when Unity started, it was really about teaching and talking about that divine presence and how to be aware and how to be in the presence of it. So Charles says, and this is from Christian Healing, his book Christian Healing, when we go forth in the understanding of man's perfect nature, we find a new state of consciousness forming in us. We think and do many things not according to the established custom. And the old consciousness rises up and asks, by whose authority? We have so long looked for man-made authority in religious matters that we feel we are treading on dangerous ground if we dare to think beyond prescribed doctrines. Right here, we should appeal to the supreme reason of spirit and proclaim what we perceive as the highest truth, regardless of precedent or tradition. I am is the image of God. the only begotten Son, the expressed or pressed out mind of the Most High. This is our true estate, and we shall never realize it until we enter into it in mind, because there it is and nowhere else. Let's take this into meditation. I invite you to close your eyes, and let's just take in a deep breath together. Let's just ask ourselves the question, how can I show up as my highest and fullest expression of the divine? How can I be the beacon of light in my own life? And how could I take this beacon of light to my loved ones, to my family, to my coworkers, to my community? Who have I come here to be? And am I willing to look at every relationship as a holy opportunity for transformation in my own mind, in my own consciousness, in my own understanding, before I look to see it in others? As I transform, the world transforms. I am the love of God. I am the light of God. It is up to me to take that into the silence. When we bring our awareness back to this present moment, let us affirm our I am. I am love. I am joy. I am the love of God. And so it is. Bring the prayer box up. As we hold the names in this prayer box, we look beyond the humanness. We know that the suffering maybe is real. We know that the ill health and the physical is real. We look beyond that, holding the highest and the best for those in this prayer box and these recipients, seeing the divine in them. And after those who you wish to hold in prayer, we invite you to say their names out loud now. And for all the fathers in this world and all the parents and single parents in this world, we hold them in our hearts in love. And all the fathers who have guided us, who have gone before us, knowing that their presence is still with us, we say, thank you, God, and so it is.
Let it draw near, let it come in, let it pass through, let it go on, let it draw near, let it pass through, let it pass through. Let it go on, let it draw near, let it come in, let it pass through, let it go on, let it draw near, let it come in. Let it pass through, let it go on, one more. Let it draw near, let it draw near, let it come in, let it come in, let it pass through, let it pass through and let it go on. Let it draw near, let it come in, let it pass through, let it go on.
Thank you, Tom, for such a heartfelt message. It was beautiful. Thank you. So proud of you. And now I'd like to recognize the beautiful souls that serve as prayer chaplains, if they could stand. These beautiful souls will hold the highest of intentions for you in love and light and possibility and absolute confidence. Also know that we also have home visits and hospital visit chaplains that are available. I thought I saw Nancy's here. If you have anyone that's in the hospital or is recuperating that would love someone to come see them, see Nancy. And, but wait, there's more. We also have a dedicated prayer line where you can put in prayer request over the telephone. You can ask for prayer request on our website, and we also have our prayer chest in the back of the sanctuary where you can put prayer lines. And the prayer team holds those prayers in their hearts for 30 days, and then we forward them on to Silent Unity where they hold them for another 30 days. So, thank you. And now is the time when we gather our tithes and offerings, and we say our blessing. Just take a moment to hold on to your offering. You can come down if you want, ushers. And just hold your offering, filling it with love and light, filling it with the legacy of all that love has been and appreciation for the center as we say our affirmation, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Well, it wouldn't be a Father's Day if I didn't bring up somebody to play with me. This is my son Noah. There's a couple of father type songs out there. One is Cat Stevens, and that's a little more angry, I think, than we needed a unity service. But this is one you probably all know and you should sing along with. And if David Tompkinson wasn't busy, I'd have him up here singing harmony with me. I have a whole pocket full. That's what's. You who are on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye, and teach your children well. Their parents' hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picks, the ones you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh. And know they love you. And you of tender years can't know the fears that your elders grew by, so please help them with their youth. They seek the truth before they can die, and teach your parents well. Their children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the ones you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why, that they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh, and know they love you. My boy, Noah. Piano, flute, guitar, ukulele. But we're trying to get him to sing. I think he's got it in the genes somewhere.
Thank you, Brian. Noah. Well done. The ushers come forward. We receive these gifts with gratitude, knowing that they've been given freely from the heart with love, knowing that they have been given in gratitude in receipt of the spiritual nourishment received at Unity on the River, and in communion with each and every one of us, knowing that these gifts help to go out to do additional work in our community, and a portion that is tied back to Unity Worldwide Ministries. We are so grateful, and so it is.
That song was awesome. Thank right, well, we have a few more thank yous. It takes a village to create this loving, awesome community that we create every week. And so we want to thank all of those who have been in sacred service. And the special angels that we want to celebrate today are Karen T., Malik, Carolyn C., David F., and all of the hospitality helpers. We also want to thank everyone who volunteered. We want to celebrate all of those who volunteered for the Habitat for Humanity, and also those who really helped at the Trims for Trays event at the Bella Salon. So thank you so much for all of those volunteers as well. And the teams that we'd like to have stand and recognize are the Art Gallery team. Thank you. The Building and Maintenance team. And the Folding team. And also, if our Board of Trustees could rise and be recognized as well. Thank you to our board. And we want to just thank everyone who makes the Wednesday night services happen. This Wednesday, we'll have our Samadhi service with Manny Miros. And now it's time for our wonderful big song.
Now it's time for the big song.
The big song.
Just a couple other announcements. Next week is Leslie Smith. Most of us have seen her. If you haven't seen her before, she combines just music and puppetry and some really great messaging. So don't miss this one next week. And then on the 30th, it's the Pride celebration. So wear your rainbow clothing for the 30th. Right, Malik?
Right, rainbow.
Rainbow. You ready? Deep breath. All around us and within us is the source of everything. All around us and within us is the source of everything. Breathing in, breathing out, every breath cleansing down. Oh, when we lift the veil of judgment, we are all one family. When we lift the veil of judgment, we are all one family. Heart to heart, hand in hand, one in love. Here we stand, oh, God in you, God in me, God in everything that we see. Oh, lift your head up, lift your heart up, raise your voice in praise of God. Oh, lift your head up, lift your heart up, raise your voice in praise of God. Seek ye first the Father's kingdom, and your good will come to you. Oh, seek ye first the power's kingdom, and your good will come to you. With all your heart, all your mind, and all your worries, leave them far behind. Oh, trust your soul, where it may lead. Love will satisfy all your needs. Lift your head up, lift your heart up, raise your voice in praise of God. Oh, lift your head up, lift your heart up, raise your voice in praise of God. Oh, lift your head up, lift your heart up, lift your voice in praise of God. Oh, lift your head up, lift your heart up, raise your voice in praise. It's time to bring in the children. Forgot. We are walking as the light of God. 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 We are walking. We are walking. We are walking as the light of God. We are walking. We are walking. We are walking as the light of God.
So just simply from all of us to all of you, happy Father's Day.
Wow. Shout out to Patricia, who's here from Florida.
Yes, I am.
Good to see you.
I want to say a thank you. May I say a thank you? I was in intensive care. I had my spine fractured. They said I'd never walk again. They didn't even know if I was going to live. And I had chaplains come down. I had people pray. The power of prayer. I'm walking. Pain is down. And I drove here.
We are happy to see you, Pat. Thank you. Who wants to pray? Please rise for our peace song.
It's these new songs that get us. Here we go. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God.
Wherever we are,